Okay, and what's going on right now?
I don't know. I'm upstairs. All I can hear is them, like, slightly talking. Do you still have him on the phone?
Yep, so we have, so I'm talking to you, and then my other call taker is talking to someone else as well. Do you know who's in the home?
No, we have no idea.
You have no idea who it is?
He barked in our back door with 2 guns.
In spite of what movies and TV would have you believe, most violent crimes are not committed by strangers. In real life, you're far more likely to be harmed by those close to you than by a random intruder. But sometimes the ultimate nightmare scenario does really happen, and it happened to Chris Neal and his family on December 2nd, 2019.
The police officers are making entry right now, so stay calm for me, okay?
Welcome to Beyond Crime, where we uncover the stories behind the real 911 calls. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Also, please be advised that the video that you are about to see is about real-life people in real-life situations, and it contains violent content. Viewer discretion is advised.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Yes, there's a man in my house right now.
What is, hold on, stop for a second.
What? There's a man in my house.
I need you to give me your address first.
6300 Proctor Avenue.
Is that a house or an apartment?
House at the end of the street.
That is the voice of Christopher Neal. At 22, he had accomplished more than most people have by that age. He was married with a daughter and had already had a distinguished career.
I joined the military right out of high school. It was kind of something I did on the spot, and it ended up being one of the best decisions ever. You know, I got to see some really cool places in the world. Also ended up with a beautiful daughter and an amazing wife out of it.
Chris and his wife Haley Coe had moved to Kalamazoo less than 3 weeks previously. They were still settling into their new lives. What happened next was straight out of a horror movie. A total stranger burst into the house via an unlocked back door, wielding 2 loaded handguns. When Neal called the police, the stranger refused to say what he was doing there, but he also refused to let the family go.
Why are you in my house, bro?
Tell me when you talk to him.
You don't get speakerphone. Why are you in my house, though?
Sir, how many other people are in your house?
It's me, my wife, and our daughter.
How old is your daughter?
She's 2.
2? Okay.
Hey, shut up, go upstairs.
Do you have any idea who it is?
You do go. No. Here, go that way. Now go that way.
No,
Stay right there. Let let my wife go.
I'm not going to harm you guys. All right? I promise. Shake my hand.
Chris Neal did shake hands with the stranger, but he also made sure his wife and daughter were able to hide upstairs. As a trade-off for their safety, Chris stayed in the room with the stranger, who kept insisting that he meant no harm to anyone. Only 5 days previously, a man named William Paul Jones had been released from prison. Following the illegal use of a financial transaction device, Jones was imprisoned for 9 months in 2019. During that time, he was named on a staggering 42 incident reports due to fighting, inappropriate contact with other prisoners, and disobeying officers. He did not receive any mental health treatment while in jail, a devastating mistake considering what followed. 3 days after being released from prison, Jones called 911 with a claim that the house he was in was on fire and that he was being held hostage by the family of his female companion. Jones also claimed that he could hear people climbing into the window of the house he was in. While police responded to the 911 call, they found Jones in a manic state. There was no fire, nobody climbing in through the windows, and no hostage situation. Jones was suffering from delusions, but nobody could know how far that they would escalate. Police drove Jones to a local bus stop without detaining or examining him. 2 days later, Jones smoked methamphetamines before getting into a truck with 2 friends. He became paranoid, convinced that the driver of the truck had set him up and that someone was out to get him. Jones eventually pulled out a handgun and began shooting inside the vehicle at a white sedan that he believed was following him. Jones eventually demanded to be let out of the truck. Alone, paranoid, agitated, and high, Jones found an unlocked back door and broke into a nearby house, the home of Chris Neal and Haley Coe.
What are you doing in their house?
I told you there are shots fired.
Where were shots fired at?
Going on, Old 37, or Old Kentucky, about.
What's that?
They're coming into Bellevue.
Stop right here with me, man.
No, I ain't going
You're
anywhere.
going there with me, man.
Bro,
Turn the light on, please.
William.
Turn the light on.
William.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you know? What are you trying to have them do?
He's coming in the room with me, that's it.
Why is he going in the room with you?
why are you locking that door? Don't lock that door, bro.
You all right, man. I give you my word, man. You straight.
I get what you're saying, but you got 2 guns, bro.
You're safe.
You got 2 guns?
Stop trying to play crazy, man.
I'm not doing anything.
William.
I'm into my house, man.
I'm sorry, man.
William, listen to me.
Why are you here in the first place?
What was going through the head of William Paul Jones? He is empathetic that he will not harm his hostage, even though he has broken into the house with 2 guns. He seems convinced that he is in danger from shots fired, even though he is the one who fired the shots. In the meantime, hostage Chris Neal, having gotten his wife and daughter safely out of the way, tries to make a connection with his paranoid captor as the 911 operator desperately tries to manage the situation.
I need you to put those guns down because I've got officers that want to help you. I have officers that want to help you and keep you safe, so I need you to put those guns down.
Jones claims that he welcomes a police presence, and given his belief that he is being followed, this claim is probably sincere. Unfortunately, the escalating paranoia that prompted Jones into the standoff will also prevent him from believing the police are really listening. He accuses Neal and the 911 dispatcher of scrambling the 911 call. When he is put on the line with a police officer, Jones doesn't even seem to believe that the police are outside the house.
Hey, this is Joe from the Sheriff's Department. How are you, man?
Glad you bad underneath the door. Don't come through that door.
Okay. We're not going to come through the door, man, but I just want to talk to you and find out what's going on.
Don't come through that door. Slide your bad underneath that door, man.
Well, I'm not even up by the door, man. I'm outside the house. Way outside the house.
Stop playing games with me, man.
What's got you all worked up today, man?
But Jones is wrong. The 911 operator was telling the truth. There are police officers surrounding the house. Mindful of the hostage in a dangerous situation, they are biding their time outside the home while dispatchers continue to try to talk down Jones.
Where's the house?
Far corner.
Where, far corner over here?
Corner, pull it up.
Okay. Do we need another VBAC?
We need more shields.
While Jones, Neal, and the sheriff's departments try to avert disaster, Haley Coe is in the precarious position of hiding upstairs. Her desire to help her husband is thwarted by her need to protect her child. In spite of this impossible position, Haley does her best to communicate to police what she's hearing from within the house.
I just heard a really loud noise. I think it was gunfire.
You heard a loud noise?
Yeah.
The police officers are making entry right now, so stay calm for me, okay?
Okay.
The police also heard the gunfire. It was this sound that prompted officers to finally leave the perimeter around the house and enter the home.
Kalamazoo Police, anyone inside? Announce yourself now!
Let me see your hands! Hold on, hold.
What did the gunfire, heard by both police and Haley Coe, mean? At first, it seems that everyone's worst fears had come true. The 911 dispatcher tried to get Christopher Neal back on the line.
Hello? Hello? Is this Christopher?
No, Christopher's dead.
But in spite of the gunshots, Christopher wasn't dead, and for a while it looked like the worst had been averted.
Well, I'm not coming through the door. I just want to talk to you. Did you hurt anyone in there?
Sheriff's office.
Did you hurt Chris?
Sheriff's office.
Okay, Chris, can you say something? Okay, are you okay? All right.
Why did Jones fire the gun if not to hurt Neal? If it was to warn the police not to enter the room, he shouldn't have bothered. Police were far too concerned about the hostage to force their way into the room. Police continued to try to reason with Jones.
William, I told you, I'm not coming through that door. I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want Chris to get hurt. I don't want anybody out here to get hurt. I'm asking you, what can I do to help you out? I don't want anyone getting hurt here right now.
Sometimes, in true crime stories, we find ourselves looking for the mistake that leads to tragedy. We believe that if everything goes right, if the police are calm and rational, if the hostage gets his family to safety and doesn't try to antagonize his captor, then everything should work out. After all, in a situation like this, there's simply no reason for William Paul Jones to shoot his hostage. Unfortunately, Jones had spent years without treatment for the mental health issues that so clearly plagued him. Combined with the methamphetamines he had imbibed earlier, Jones was not able to respond rationally to the situation that he was in. At 10:36 p.m., tragedy struck.
William! Get that shield up. William, what's going on?
I'm hit. I'm hit. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hit. Officer down. William, what's going on?
I'm hit. Yeah. I'm hit.
Officer down.
We have officer down. Shots fired.
William!
Do not move! You stay in that room!
Don't fucking move.
I got you covered.
When the dust had cleared, 3 officers were wounded. Chris Neal, 22-year-old and husband, was dead. He and his family had lived in their house for less than a week.
Why? Why? And for what I want to say, I probably can't say on TV. Because there's just a lot of bitterness, a lot of pain, a lot of shock and numbness, yet I don't get it.
William Paul Jones cut himself on a window while trying to flee the scene, but he was caught by police and taken into custody without officers firing any shots. The police who had been struck by the flying bullets all recovered, but the trauma and loss suffered by Chris Neal's family will never fade. As for William Paul Jones, he was charged with 19 felonies, including murder, home invasion, unlawful imprisonment, illegally possessing a firearm, and assault with the intent to murder a police officer. At a preliminary hearing on Monday, August 10, 2020, ruled that there was enough probable cause for the case against Jones to move forward. Though, as of this recording, the dates for Jones' trial are yet to be set. After his arrest, it seemed apparent that Jones was resigned to his fate.
If I plead guilty to all these right now, can I get sentenced today so I can hurry up and go to prison for life like everybody wants, or what?
You're not going to plead today. You're pleading not guilty today.
There can be no clean end to a story like this. While the crimes committed by William Paul Jones are heinous, it is also clear that he has suffered from mental health issues that went untreated even during months of state imprisonment. At the end of the day, though, the suffering that he had caused will never fully heal. There is one final twist to the story. Haley Coe, who kept her daughter safe and hidden during the attack, gave birth 7 months after the death of her husband. Chris Neal didn't just save 2 family members by sending them upstairs and facing Jones' wrath. He had saved 3. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of the story is that Chris Neal, who got his family to the safety at the cost of staying with the intruder William Paul Jones, will never meet his second child, the child whose life he almost certainly saved. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Beyond Crime. If you found this case interesting, be sure to subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you next time.